Hi class, welcome back to the medieval era. I hope you're ready to learn more fascinating things. It is definitely one of my favorite time periods and I can't wait to share more. Let's continue learning about the lifestyles by starting with villages and towns. Because believe it or not, these two styles of living are completely different. We are going to distinguish between a medieval village and a town in today's videos, and conclude with comparing and contrasting the two with present day. Here's the agenda for today. Today we will analyze the daily life in medieval towns and villages through images so that you can identify various buildings, activities, jobs, and more in the medieval period, which you already know about and have talked about in last week's videos. You know you have it when you can distinguish the similarities and differences of both a medieval village and town to modern day life. So this is what you will need today. Today you will need to have Class Dojo open to complete the questions for homework. And also you can have paper and pencil if you want to jot some notes down. Let's get started. Take a look at this image of a village. This is a medieval village. The image represents what a medieval village looked like. Pause the video for 30 seconds. Think about what you see in this picture. It can be anything from a building, the people, jobs, the scenery. Alright, so I'm just going to discuss what I see in this picture. I see houses that are very close to each other. I see peasants farming with animals, right? Peasants were the bottom of the feudal system. They provided food for the community as well as for themselves. That was their main job, farming. I see people talking in the village. I see people working on their houses because they mainly built their own houses with straw, hay. I see a stream, which is probably their main water source and what they mostly drank. I see a castle in the distance. A castle is not part of a village. The royalty lived in their own castle as well as nobles. They were not a part of this feudal system, which the peasants were living in the villages. The medieval village was the central place where people lived, worked, socialized, married, enjoyed local festivals, attended church, gave birth to children, and eventually died. Right? We all see that in that picture. We see socialization, the people talking in the background. We see where they lived in their houses, worked on the farms. I'm sure there's a church in this image as well. But most people rarely ever ventured beyond its boundaries. Is that different from today? Do people usually stay in the same place or move around? From my own experience, I have lived in 3 different counties in PA and have also lived in Virginia within my 24 years of living on this earth. I think that's a lot of times to be moving in such a short time of my life. And think about that in regards to people who lived in this village for their whole lives. They were born here and they died here. Whereas I have lived in so many different places and I'm only 24. So I think that says a lot to, this is very different from today. Think about your own life. How many times have you moved? How many times has your parents moved, or have you relocated since moving here? Also, as you saw in the picture, village life was very busy. You see anyone just sitting down, right? You see people farming, you see people on horses. in their yards, working on their houses. They were busy. They were trying to provide for their families every day. Medieval villages consisted of a population composed mostly of farmers, as we can see in that picture. The farm is the majority of the picture here. Most of their time was spent working on the land and trying to grow enough food to survive another year. Today we follow a similar concept, right? We go to work every day to make money and provide food and other necessities to our families. Because without a job and without money, how else would we be able to provide for our family? So, just like back then, we had a similar concept of how are we going to take care of our family. So for homework, I would like you to talk about the community you live in. Is it similar to a village? And why or why not? What is in your community? Think about the buildings. Are they close together or are they far apart? What do the people do? What do they like? What kind of jobs do you see right in your area? Are there farmers? Or do these people work in hospitals or in businesses where they have to travel to go to their job? I want you to post your answers to these questions on Portfolio and Class Dojo. It will be titled Medieval Village, and these questions will also be there for them to guide you. Alright, that's all for this video. In the next video, we will move on to analyzing medieval towns. See you there!